Genesis is the very first book. It appears in the Hebrew Bible. Christians also know this book well. They call its larger collection the Old Testament. The name Genesis comes from Greek. It simply means origin or birth. The book of Genesis is a book of beginnings. It tells us how things started. It speaks of the world's creation. It describes the dawn of human life. Ancient people wondered about these things. They sought answers to big questions. Genesis offered them profound narratives. These stories helped them understand their world. Traditionally, Moses was thought to be the author. However, most scholars today see it differently. They believe Genesis has multiple sources. These sources were written over centuries. They were carefully woven together. This makes Genesis a rich tapestry. It reflects diverse voices and times. Genesis serves many important purposes. It aims to explain where everything came from: the universe, the earth, and all life. The first creation story in Genesis is majestic. It is found in the very first chapter. God brings order out of a watery chaos. God speaks, and creation happens. "Let there be light," God says. And there was light, separating day from night. The creation unfolds over 6 distinct days. On day 1, God created light. On day 2, the sky was formed. Day 3 saw dry land and plants appear. On the 4th day, God made the sun, moon and stars. Sea creatures and birds were created on day 5. Land animals and humans came on day 6. Each act of creation was deliberate and good. The 7th day is special in this account. On this day, God rested from all work. God blessed the 7th day. God made it holy, a day set apart. This established the concept of the Sabbath, a day for rest, worship, and reflection. Genesis chapter 2 offers another creation story. Here, God is portrayed more like a craftsman. God forms the first man, Adam, from dust. God breathes life into his nostrils. Adam and Eve lived in the Garden of Eden. It was a paradise, a place of harmony. God gave them only one prohibition. They were not to eat from one specific tree, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. A cunning serpent tempted Eve. She ate the fruit and gave some to Adam. This act of disobedience had grave consequences. Their choice brought about a profound change. They gained knowledge but lost innocence. They became aware of their nakedness. They felt shame and fear before God. God confronted them about their actions. As a result, they were expelled from Eden. Life outside the garden would be hard. This story is often called the fall. The consequences of this choice rippled outward. Humanity now faced toil, pain, and death. The story of Cain and Abel follows. Cain, a farmer, became jealous of Abel, a shepherd. In anger, Cain killed his brother. This was the first murder, a terrible sin. As humanity multiplied, so did wickedness. The world became corrupt and violent. God decided to send a great flood. Section 4, The Patriarchs, Forging a Nation's Path. After the flood, Genesis focuses on one family. This family line leads to Abraham. God called Abraham from his home in Ur. God made a covenant with him, a promise of many descendants and a promise of a special land. Abraham is seen as a father of faith. His trust in God was deeply tested. The most famous test was the command to sacrifice Isaac. Isaac was Abraham's long-awaited son. He inherited the covenant promises. Isaac had twin sons, Esau and Jacob. Jacob, later named Israel, became prominent. He tricked his brother Esau out of his birthright. He also received his father's blessing. Jacob had 12 sons in total. These sons became the ancestors. They formed the 12 tribes of Israel. Jacob's life was full of struggle and travel. He fled from his angry brother Esau. He worked for many years for Laban. He married Leah and Rachel. Joseph was one of Jacob's youngest sons. He was Jacob's favorite, which caused jealousy. His older brothers sold him into slavery. Despite many hardships, Joseph rose to power. Section 5, Genesis, a foundation for faith and history. The book of Genesis is foundational. It is the bedrock for much of the Bible. It introduces core theological themes like creation and human fallibility. It presents the concept of covenant. This is God's special relationship with people. It speaks of promise and redemption. These ideas echo throughout later biblical books. Understanding Genesis helps understand the whole. Genesis holds immense significance for monotheistic faiths. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam all revere it. These religions are often called Abrahamic. This is because they trace their roots to Abraham. Figures like Adam, Noah, and Abraham are key. They are shared by these global religions. The stories in Genesis form a common heritage. They have shaped the spiritual lives of billions. Their interpretations may differ, but the source is shared. The impact of Genesis extends beyond religion. Its narratives are woven into Western culture. They have inspired countless works of art, paintings, sculptures, music, and literature. Think of Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel ceiling or Milton's epic poem Paradise Lost. The stories raise enduring ethical questions. They have influenced legal systems and moral codes. Thank you for listening. Be blessed always. Like and subscribe for more inspiring stories of faith and well-being. Till the next time.